Shanti. Om Shanti Zoomers as well. Welcome all of you for being here today. I always say for making that extra effort. You're here. Good for you. So tonight, well, actually the month of October, as you know, each month we have a different subject. So this month is changing colors, changing times. And I was I don't want to say excited because I like the sunlight, but I don't know if you remember well, first of all, how many of you is your first time here? Okay. So maybe you caught me over the summer because I was so excited when I'd look out the window and it was still light out. But look out the window now. It's changed, right? It's darker. So these are changing times. And these are, in effect, changing colors. So tonight, our subject is the healing power of love. And we have a very special guest who is a healer, so to speak. She's a healthcare professional, and she's also my teacher when I took the 7-day course, and that's Sister Carmen. And that was almost 7 years ago. So I never left. I said, it's more than one day. Remember, and they said, oh, yes, it's 7 days. Well, 7 days turned into 7 months, 7 years. I'm still here. So, and I'm very grateful to that. And, you know, the expression, when you're ready, the teacher comes. So I was very fortunate. But let's talk about the healing power of love. There's a quote here, where there is love, there is life. And I remember this song, it was contrary to that. It says, where there is no love, life is not worthwhile. And I think about that love is what makes life worth living. And we're going to explore tonight, well, actually our host will explore about how love heals us, how it frees us, how it transforms us and allows us to be more whole. But you know that already, right? But it's good to hear it again and to remind yourself over and over again. And with that, I'm going to introduce Sister Carmen, who is a retired registered nurse, studying, practicing, and teacher Raja Yoga meditations with the Brahma Kumaris for the past 24 years. She also coordinates activities for the Point of Life Foundation, which offers the aim to integrate spirituality and healthcare with the goal of sustaining healthcare professionals and enhancing the quality of the human experience in the healthcare system. And if you've ever had the chance to come to one of her Sister Carmen's workshops, they're really quite remarkable. And you don't really have to be a healthcare provider to be here. So too, she has a passion, get to know her, for women's empowerment movement. And a number of her workshops focus on that too. And she creates a highly engaging experiential workshop and retreats. And I've had the privilege of taking advantage of that. And now tonight, so shall you. So welcome, Sister Carmen.
Good evening, everyone. Sure you want to be over there? Sure you don't want to be with us over here? So few, we may as well get close together. How about you? Join us over here? Thank you. It's lovely. All right, so thank you all for coming, for being here. And thank you so much, Michelle, for that warm welcome and for reminding me how long I've been around. Okay, so did anybody put up your hands to say they're here for the first time? So we're all old family and friends, old family and old friends. We've been around for a long time together, but I haven't been here in a long time on a Thursday evening. So it's lovely to be here with you all tonight. So, changing color, changing time. What does that have to do with, or what does healing power of love have to do with that? So when I was thinking of the theme, I was thinking, how does one relate to the other? Can you think of any way to see that relationship? Changing color, changing time, and the healing power of love. Can you see any relationship? I was trying to figure out the relationship myself. Do you see any relationship? Those two things? Yes? No? Any people guess? It's a guess, whatever. Whatever I say is a guess too. Yeah, I was thinking, it's the fall. The fall is here. And what happens in the fall, we see the leaves start changing colors. They start falling off the tree. And it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing they fall off. It's a good thing the flowers eventually fall off. The seeds will fall into the ground. And when the spring comes, we'll see newness. So some renewal will be taking place during this time of the old leaves falling off, and the new leaves will come again in the spring, or the seeds are falling off into the ground, and in the spring we'll see some new flowers come up, green, lush, and beautiful. And so when we talk about the healing power of love, I was thinking that we go through the same thing, or we ought to go through the same thing, where we begin to allow some old things that don't really need to be there anymore. It's time for renewal. So some old things to fall off so we can let them go, to allow space for the newness to emerge, right? For healing and regeneration and renewal to take place, and for something new to emerge with time. Of course, our timing is not the same as the vegetation, but it's the same idea. So when we talk about the healing power of love, we're seeing that love is that force that is going to enable the renewal to take place. It's going to enable the old to go, to fall off, and for the newness, for the renewal to happen, and for the newness to emerge. That's how I was looking at it. That's why I came up with that theme. I don't know if it feels right for you, but that's how I was seeing it. Whatever that is, tonight we'll talk about how love heals. What is this thing we call love? What's this thing we call love? And how love heals. And when we talk about healing, we're assuming that something has gone away. Something is not so right anymore. When you think of your body and your body needs healing, it means that something is not so much right anymore with the body. Something is not intact. Something is broken. Sorry. And so healing needs to happen, needs to be put back together. There needs to be a return to wholeness. It's what healing is about, right? So what has gone wrong? Where has it gone wrong? And what does it look like when it's gone wrong? And how is love responsible? Because we see love as the glue, the substance that holds things together in our lives. Sorry. And the glue needs to be reinforced so that the bits and pieces that have fallen apart can come back together and be held together. So when we talk about, when we mention love being, one of the quotes we had in our promotional piece was that our survival depends on the healing power of love. As individuals, as communities, as country, as a culture, and perhaps even as a species. So when we look at our world, when we look at our own lives, and we look at our within our families, and we look within our communities, and we look at our world in general, we see things are falling apart, don't we? Right? Do things look like they're falling apart to you? Do they look like they're falling apart to you? Does anything look like it's falling apart? Yes. Yeah. Things are not quite the way they used to be, and things are not quite the way we would love to have them. So things are really not intact. So our survival depends on the healing power of love as individuals, so that we feel intact individually, as our communities or country or culture, and perhaps even the species of humanity. Because if we can look in what's going on in our world around us, in our big world around us, and we see that things look like they are really, literally falling apart. And so how can we put them back together? Do we need new laws, new man-made laws? What do we need? Yeah. You think the laws are going to help? What do you think? No. There's no law there to say we should love each other, and you need to be nice to each other, and we need to be kind to each other. Even our scriptures, that the laws in the scriptures, they've been saying that, for ages. But have we become nicer to each other? Not necessarily, right? So we need something more than that, something different from that, some otherworldly something, not what man or humanity or human beings have created, or the ideas that they have for things, great ideas most of the times, or they're not honored, and most of the times we don't even know how to do it. Okay. So when we talk about love, there is a quote that many have heard. I've heard it over the years, and it says, I love you so much, it hurts. Have you ever heard that quote? I love you so much, it hurts. Or love them to death. You ever heard that? Have you? Love them to death. Can love hurt? Can love hurt in any way, shape, or form? If it hurts, can it be love? Anybody thinks that love can hurt? I love someone so much that they leave me, and it hurts. Or something happens and it hurts. Would that be love? What do you think? You're shaking your head. You think love can hurt? Love can hurt, you think. How is that? Huh? Say that again. Mm-hmm. Is it the love that hurts?
Beautiful soul that's no longer present in his body, her body on this earth.
Mhm.
They stay in your memories, and hopefully that helps you get through your grief. But
Mhm.
it takes years to get over it.
Mhm. Okay.
I can attest to that, unfortunately.
Okay. So it's a big story, right? Okay, so anybody else believe that love hurts? It's the loss that you experience that hurts, but not the love. Right. I agree. Yeah. Love never hurts, really. Love is, so what is love? Let's look at what love is. What is love? Love is a force, it's an energetic force. And love is not an emotion that emerges. You know, we have these emotions that well up and we say it's love, it's the emotion of love. Love is really not that. It's yeah, you feel it, you do feel it, but it's really not that. It's not just a feeling. Ouch. Sorry. Love is really a force, an energetic force that empowers. Love always empowers. Love always accepts. Love always make you feel secure. So when we are with someone and that someone is not there, when we're with someone that we experience love or we feel love, even if it's a temporary thing that we're feeling, but we call it love, you feel secure in the presence of that one, usually, right? Even if it's not really, even if it's the love that's a little bit flawed, you will feel a sense of security and safety in the presence of that one, right? So what you're feeling when that one is not there anymore, like you say, is the loss of that. That makes you sad. It's not the love itself. So love will always make you feel secure. Love is it is an understanding of the self and of the other person that loves you. That's called love. When I love myself, I understand myself and I accept myself. When I love someone else, I accept that someone. I understand that someone. And so there is not, we go beyond the shortcomings of the self and of the other when there is really unconditional love. So the love we are talking about that heals is a love that we say is unconditional. Not the love that I love you sometimes, but when you do something wrong that I don't agree with, that love is a little bit not there. That is not pure love. Okay. And so the love we're talking about is a love that's always there, regardless. Regardless of who you are, regardless of what you do, regardless of how you are, I love you anyway. And why do I love you anyway? Is because I'm not loving you because. I'm not loving you because you are my child. I'm not loving you because you're my husband. I'm not loving you because you're my friend or because you do all the right things or because you remember my birthday or an occasion and bring me flowers and chocolate. I don't love you for that. I love you because I am love. I love you because I cannot do anything but love. Because I am a being of love. So no matter what you do or what you are and how you behave, I love you. Doesn't mean I agree with everything you do. Doesn't mean I don't see that what you do is not appropriate. Yes, I do. But I love you. Like a mother and a child, baby. She loves him, even when he messes up. Okay? So that's the love that the world needs. And that's the love that we need to bring into our lives to allow us, to allow healing to happen. So there is a quote from Dr. Menninger, who is an American psychiatrist, and he says, love is a medicine for the sickness of the world. Love is a medicine for the sickness of the world. And Mother Teresa said, the greatest illness of the world is a lack of love. It's not cancer. It's not heart disease. It's not diabetes. It's not any of those other diseases that everybody say this is the number one killer. Number one illness in the world is a lack of love. And people experiencing that love, that lack of love. And so Dr. Manning just said, love is the medicine of the sickness of the world. He also goes on to say that love cures people, both the ones that give it and the ones that receive it. So when I give love, I cannot give anything that I don't have. So for me to give love means I have to emerge that love within my own self. I have to receive that love and experience that love within my own self to be able to give it. So that process of emerging love within myself and allowing love to grow and fill me up so I can give it, it's my own healing. Right? So I am being healed, I am giving, but that giving or that which I have to give is enabling my own healing to take place. And you who are receiving it is also being healed. To feel accepted, to feel appreciated, to feel empowered. When someone truly does that for you, it's allowing you to feel yourself, your whole self. So you're being healed through the power of that love that you're receiving. I am being healed through the power of that love that I am giving. Does that make sense? And I would like tonight to be feel free if there's any question or anything you don't quite get. Okay. We don't want it to be too formal that can't ask questions or share. Okay. So there is another saying. I'm going to use a lot of quotes tonight because there are beautiful quotes out there that says, love and the self are one. Love. So when we talk about the self and love of the self, we're not talking about this body. I'm sure if you've been coming here to Harmony House for some time now, by now, you probably know that. But I will probably repeat it so we put it in context. So it's not, when we talk about self, we're not talking about this body. I'm not talking about your body. I'm talking about the living conscious being that lives inside this body. That's who you are. You're not your body. You know that, right? By now. Everybody here is comfortable with that concept. So the being that is inside of me, that lives inside, that occupies this body, the being that is expressing itself, the being that is talking about love, the being that experiences love, the being that is love, the being that gives love and receives love. That's the one I call the self. So love and the self are one. And the discovery of either the discovery of the self or the discovery of love, either one is the realization of both. So when I discover my true self, I will discover love. When I discover pure love, I would have discovered myself. I am love. I am that beautiful, vibrant, radiant energy, conscious, sentient energy that vibrates with the energy, with the frequency of love and other qualities, of course, like peace and joy and wisdom and power. Okay? That's the self. So when I discover love, that is pure love, I discover self. And that is the reason why people kind of mistake a lot of other things for love. Because until we discover who I am, what the self is, I will never be able to figure out what true love really is. We will look at other things that we engage in, like attachments and, you know, holding on to you to make me feel safe and feel good and all of that. And I call it love. But it is not, that is not really love. And that's why sometimes when something happens and that is taken away from me, I will go into pain because that which I thought I was holding on to, that I thought was love, is not. Love is enduring. And so even if I am in a relationship with someone, in a company of someone, and that one leaves me, that love never dies. That being that is not there anymore in the physical form that I have known them, we will know that that being is still there, is still around, and that love cannot die. Okay? So there's no need to mourn for that love because it's still there. Okay? So, what is the cause of, how do you know when love is lacking, when love is not there anymore? What caused pain? How will some of the ways you feel when love is not there anymore and something, you know, something has gone wrong?
You said, how do you know when there is no love?
Right.
Well, you mentioned.
How do you feel?
Yeah,
How do you
Yeah.
feel?
heavy and unhappy and I think you said, pain.
Pain.
So that's, something is not right. No, you're not liked.
Anyone else? Incomplete. Okay. All right. What else? Sad. Mhm. What else? Love is missing. Love is not there fully. Hmm? Broken. Broken. Mhm. Broken in many pieces, right? Yeah. What else? How else do you feel that makes you know something is not right? Something is going wrong. Something needs fixing. Anybody else? Anybody else? Common one too is fear. Fear. Fear is when love is missing, there is always fear. Anywhere there is fear, it's a lack of love. Love makes you feel safe. Love makes you feel whole. Love makes you feel everything is intact. When that love is missing or threatened in any way, there's fear. Okay? So whenever you find yourself being afraid, I'm not talking about being afraid of an obvious somebody coming to hit you with a bat or shoot you with a gun or anything like that. That's a different. And even that too. But other than that, the emotional fears that something else is going on. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my position. I am afraid that my relationship is going to break up. I'm afraid that something's going to happen to my child. I'm afraid those fears, where there is love, there is no fear. I'm safe. When I find myself, I find love. When I find true love, I find myself. Where there is love, there is only a sense of safety. Always. Because I would have discovered that nothing can happen to me, the soul that I am. Can't lose myself. I will always be there. And also when it comes to another person, if I'm afraid of something happening to you, my mother or my spouse or my child, when I understand that you're an individual unto yourself, you don't belong to me, you are you. And there is love for you. I accept you as you are, including the role you're playing. I will accept you for that role that you play, and will accept the journey that you're going through, which is your life. I don't want your life to be what I want it to be. I want your life to be your life. And I will accept it, and I will have good wishes for you, pure thoughts and feelings for you, right? Wishing you the best. But I don't want to manipulate you and manipulate your life. So there's no need for me to go into fear. My part is to send you love and to help to empower you so you can do what you need to do for your life. My manipulating you is making you weaker and fragile. And I'm not trusting that you're doing the best for yourself. Does that make any sense? Okay, so all fear and misery and suffering arise from our sense of separation from the great cosmic unity and the web of being that encloses. So when there's a sense of separation, a false sense of separation, an illusion of separation, I am separate from you. We're all united. We're all united together. As humanity, we are all. In this planet, we're all united. Energetically, we're united. What happens to you happens to me. I can't. What you're experiencing, if any one human being is experiencing sorrow in the world, there is sorrow in the world. Just go into your homes, into your families. If one member of your family is suffering, maybe just a physical illness or going through some mental story, the whole family feels it, doesn't it? You do. Because we're united, we are connected energetically, all of us, whether we believe it or not, whether we know it or not. So when I start feeling separate from you, or somebody else, because they're across the ocean, or because they're not my family member, or because they're not my neighbor, or because they look different from me. Once we feel separate from people, what comes in the middle is fear and anxiety. We don't trust each other. We don't see each other as a part of my family, right? So there is ensuing pain and suffering that comes in the middle of that. So it's that sense of separation, but it's an illusion because we are not separate. Yeah, we are individuals with our individual stories, but energetically we are connected. Okay? So once that sense of separateness comes, and that not the realization that we are not connected, that brings into our lives fear of each other. That's a sickness. That's a dis-ease. There's not a sense of ease of being around and being with each other. That's an illness. So if we are willing to go to, or if we are willing to let go of our illness, then we have to be willing to let go of the attitude that brought about the illness. because disease is an expression of one's attitude and habitual way of looking at things. So the attitude that we're having of being separate, for example, the attitude we have that you're not good enough, or I am not good enough because I'm different, right? That attitude brings about my pain and my own suffering that I'm creating. If I am willing, if I want to be healed, if I want to let go of that feeling, because it is not serving me, I have to be willing to let it go. But how do I let it go? I have to be willing to accept something new about myself, or accept something new about you. But I have to be willing to go into that place of love in order to emerge a new attitude about you, because you are not different from me. Yeah, you're an individual person, but in reality, core of it all, you're not different. So the attitude we have, looking at ourselves in the mirror and thinking that we're not good enough because we've been broken, because we've been made to believe we're not good enough. But we're beautiful beings of love. I am good enough. I have to be willing to let that go. But I also have to be willing to look at you and think you're not less than me. You're not better than me, and you're not less than me. You're different. You're a unique individual. But you're not, unique doesn't mean better than or less than. So any attitude I'm holding that anyone is better than or less than, any attitude I'm holding that believe that anyone is less than, is support, is what's making me whole, the real. You know, they have these wedding vows. How these wedding vows go? Or people say, you're my better half. He's my better half, she's my better half. Is that true? Do you have a better half? Who has a better half? Anybody in this room have a better half? That means you're less than. You're the other half, but you're less than. What do you think? Yeah, we're not less than anybody. And we don't even have a half. Because when you say you have a half, it means you're a half. Are you a half? See, when you think you're a half, what happens? What does that lend itself to? Does anyone want to feel like a half of a person? Anyone? No, you don't want to feel like a half of a person, right? If you feel like a half of a person, because no one wants to feel less than whole. So if you feel like a half, it means you absolutely must have that other half to make you feel whole and complete. But is that a reality or is that an illusion? It's a big illusion. You're a whole being, complete. So it's beautiful when two wholes can interact, can have a relationship. But when two halves come together, you become totally, completely dependent. And there's no sense of security in dependency. There's no sense of safety in dependency. You have to feel whole and complete. So when I enter into a relationship with someone else, I don't have to feel dependent and live in fear all the time that I'm going to lose the other half. I'm just going to be a half. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, does that make sense? And you become a burden to one another. The one that you need to be making you whole, you're totally dependent on that one. That one, you become a burden, and vice versa. Somebody else wants you to be a half. You are burdened because you have an obligation to be a half for that person. It's much nicer to be two whole people. Then you come into a relationship. There's no bondage. There's a relationship. But love has to be in the fact in there, because love for the self, this being have to want to value the self enough. So that love for the self is what allows me to value myself. And when I value myself as a whole being, I can value you as a whole being and appreciate you for who you are, not for what I want you to be. Does that make sense? Any question?
Can you hear me? Uh, could you clarify the fear and the lack of love? Because I was just thinking, if someone informed you that there has been a big accident on a family member or a beloved person, and you don't know what's happening yet to the other person. Let's say that it's an airplane or something that my scenario is very, very bad. It's like there's an accident, a crash, a plane crash. So immediately you feel fear because you don't know what is happening to your beloved one. So it's normal to feel that fear. But it doesn't mean that
It seems normal to us because it's the tendency we have. We have gotten to that place in life where we've begun to believe that that person that I have a relationship with is their body. Okay? And it's something that has become a way of thinking for us over a very, very, very long time. So it's habitual. So it seems as though it's normal. Okay? But in reality, when we recognize that we are beings that are immortal, that cannot die, we are souls. My relationship is not with the body, it's with the soul. Okay, but it's a long story, and it doesn't just happen overnight that I switch from what I've always believed to something else. It's the practice that I have to engage in with the knowledge, using a practice so that I begin to feel and sense myself as a soul. And that one too is a soul, is not a body. I am not a body. I am a soul. I live in a body. There's a body. I live in it, but I'm not the soul. So it's not the body that have a relationship with the body. But my thinking is that I think it's the body that has a relationship with the body. That body is perishable and that body can die. But I, the soul, cannot die, nor can that soul die. So the immediate reaction that I go into when I hear something, the fear is that the person I knew and loved is gone or is dead. But in reality, that one cannot die. So it's an illusion. So it seems normal because that's what I'm used to believing and knowing. But in reality, that person cannot die. So if I hear that there's an accident and that person is in that out there and I don't know what's happening, rather than going into fear, let me go into love and start having good wishes that that soul is safe, rather than going into fear, because they don't coexist. Fear will not allow me to have the good wish and send the loving beautiful protective energy to support that soul, wherever that soul is. It won't happen if fear is there at the same time. Okay, so it seemed to us like that's natural and normal. The normal thing to do is to go into fear because that's what we're used to. But in reality, it's not. It's not really what we, and how do you feel when you go into fear? You don't feel good. It's painful, right? So anywhere you sense pain, it means something needs to change. The way I'm thinking needs to change, for example. Anywhere you sense pain, anywhere you sense stress, that pain is a signal that is telling me that something needs to change. What needs to change? The way I'm thinking about something, the way I'm reacting to something. It's not the ideal, and that's why I feel pain. And I'm not suggesting that it's easy. And I'm not suggesting that or going into fear is a horrible thing. It shouldn't happen. Of course it's going to happen because that's how we've been programmed over a long period of time. So it's not easy to break that habit, but I'm just telling you what's going on. Why are we going to fear?
Thank you.
Okay. Does that kind of make sense? I'm not suggesting it's 1, 2, 3. You hear that your loved one is in a plane crash or a car accident or something, and it's not easy to just switch and do what I'm saying is really the ideal, right? I'm not suggesting it's. Huh? Can you still hear me? Okay. Is that what happened? I don't think so. Okay. All right. I guess so. Sounds different. Okay, but does that make sense? Yeah. Right. A lot of things we say is the normal thing to do. It only seems normal because we've been programmed for so long to behave in a certain way, to react in a certain way, to respond in a certain way, right? Because of our conditioning, because of the awareness we hold. But in reality, it is not. It's really an illusion that that's the way it should be. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other question? All right. So there's a call to love. If you seek to heal your life, you must love yourself and embrace the wholeness of your being as you are. Just accept yourself for who you are. Your beautiful qualities that you discover in yourself, and also the weaknesses that you discover in yourself. It's all you. Yeah. We're going to work on the weaknesses to fix them. We need to recognize them and accept them. Don't hide away from them. Don't feel guilty about them. Don't feel ashamed about them. That's the story of our life. That's the life we've lived and that brought us to where we are today. So we have to be accepting of it. And there are lessons to be learned in all of that. So we accept it all. If you seek to heal your life, it means accepting your current circumstances without opposition or without resistance. Just accept. See it for what it is. And what you don't want, it is the fall. What I don't want, I begin to be willing to shed it. I don't pretend. I don't suppress. I don't pretend it's not there. I don't pretend this has happened and that is what happened. It happened. This is where I am today. What lessons have I learned thus far? What is not serving me anymore? And what do I need to let go? Okay. Love renews and restores the inner harmony because every cell of our body is attuned to this natural healing state. So when I have returned energetically to my state of being love, that energy is vibrating into every cell of my body. And every cell of my body will align itself with that energy. When I am in fear constantly, when I'm angry constantly, when I'm anxious constantly, what happens to our body? When I'm stressed constantly, what happens to our bodies? We know, it is well identified, that maybe 80% of our physical illnesses are psychosomatic. They're connected to the way we think, to the energy we are vibrating into ourselves. And that energy is coming from my thoughts, the way I think, my emotions, the way I feel, my attitude, and the old memories that I'm carrying inside of me. All of those things are vibrating energy into my body, because the soul energetically is a life force that support and give life to every cell of the body. So when I'm vibrating other than love, or what's opposite to love, that's what I'm feeding my body with. When I return to that place of love, to the energy of love, and begin to vibrate the energy of love into every cell of my body begins to heal. Okay. And I'm sure all of us can even feel that on a very subtle level. When you are really in a good space, I'm sure we've all experienced that. Generally, you feel better, not just mentally, but your whole being feels better, right? When you're anxious and afraid and angry and stressed, your whole body feels sick, right? So you're healing at all levels, not just spiritually, not just mentally, not just emotionally, but holistically. Okay. So love is that healing force. So love is a healing agent because its energetic frequency is stronger than other emotions, and it's the foundation of universal order. So, how do we express our true love to others as forces to support their healing? So we're about healing ourselves, but we also want people in our lives to feel that they're receiving our support for their healing as well. And so, I just want to, oh, we don't have much time. We're running. Okay. So one of the things is that become a pillar of strength and support. True love is to become a pillar of strength and support for everyone, not just for myself, but for those around me. And that's why I have to be accepting totally and completely of everyone for who they are. If I am talking about being loving to others, being benevolent to others, we have to go beyond reactions. We have to go beyond seeing their weaknesses and seeing who they truly are at their core. We have to understand that everyone that is acting with weakness has been wounded, right? Has been wounded, like we have been. We've all been wounded. We're in a world where we've all become wounded. So we have to heal others. Behind every unpleasant reaction, there's hurt and pain. There is nobody who is mean to you out there that's not going through their own pain. They're giving what they have inside of them. And whatever they have inside of them that is not loveful is something that they've experienced that has brought them to that place. So they have been removed from their place of safety, from their place of strength, from their place of love, and they're reacting. And so we have to understand that so that we can accept them for who they are and we can then forgive. That's what allows us to stay into our place of love, right? Focus on the strength of others, not on their weaknesses. Be mothers to every soul that you come across. See everyone like you would see your little child that is acting out of sorts. And you have this benevolent feelings, good wishes, pure thoughts and pure feelings for every soul. Because when we go anywhere else, that's what we're giving to ourselves. What I give to you is what I'm giving to myself. So for me to give you love, I have to give myself love, to allow myself to be loving. Okay? So give love and get love. Give love, and give love. And we have forgotten at this point in our lives how to be loving human beings. So this need to restore our strength and or resource of love, we have to connect to the supreme source of love, and that is God. God is the supreme source. We consider him to be, we consider that being to be the ocean of love and the ocean of spiritual power. So we're receiving always from that one, and that's what we're giving. As we become healed, we're enabling others to become healed as well. Okay? Love is a powerful healing. Any questions? Any
Friends, can you bring us to a guided meditation, please? Thank you.
Okay, so let's just take next few minutes. So just allow the body to be comfortable. Sit, relax. Maybe feet on the floor. Maybe hands on the lap. Just be comfortable. And just let go. Let go of the stories of the day. Let go of the questions, even about what you just heard a while ago. Let go of the body. Let go of your roles, your relationships, your responsibilities. Let go of the stories of the past, even the story that's going on right now in your life, anticipation for tomorrow. Let go of everything. Allow the mind to be free and turn your attention inwards to the south, focusing your attention the center of the forehead, behind the eyes. Just visualize that there's a space back there that is silent, still. And I, the living, conscious being that is separate from the body, exist in this body, in this space. And from here, I observe the whole world using the physical body, the physical senses to see and to hear and to feel. But I am separate from them. And I, this living conscious being, is full of beautiful spiritual energy. This energy radiates this love, this light, this peace, this joy, this wisdom, power, this bliss. I, this being of love, create thoughts, creates attitude, and in my relationship with others and with the world, I vibrate these thoughts and feelings into the world. And so I have the capacity to share this beautiful vibration of love. Everyone, every other human being, those I know and those I don't. I vibrate this into the world, touching nature, love is the force that I vibrate out there that helps to bring healing. Healing for myself, healing for others, healing even for nature. I have the capacity to change that which does not serve in terms of my old thoughts, my old attitudes, and to bring about transformed attitude, transformed thoughts, good wishes, pure feelings, and a feeling of benevolence, mercy, compassion, and forgiveness. I hold these thoughts. I go forth from here tonight with the aim of thinking, reflecting deeply on this aspect that I am love, a whole being full of love and light. And I share this with the world. Om Shanti.
And thank you so much, Sister Carmen. When I was sitting there doing the meditation, one of the things I thought, when you said, why did you come up with this topic and what it has to do with color? And I thought, what is the color of love? And the color of love, you'll forgive me, I'm talking to my teacher, is the color of a perfect diamond. And that diamond reflects everything, right? You ever see a perfect diamond, the colors of the perfect diamond? I just got goosebumps. It is all of us, every color, everything. We are the diamond. It's what we look at when we meditate. So thank you for opening up that for us. Wasn't that nice? I know you're going to tell me like, that was nice, right? It was nice. It's good. Beautiful. So next week we keep a going and we will be with Brother Tony, who has been here more frequently than Sister Carmen. Come back again, Sister Carmen. And it's change is the agent of our life, right? The more things the more things change, the more things stay the same. So it really is change is the agent of our life. I just want to also point out that we are in the midst, every month we do the meditation classes. They just started, but I'm sure if you're interested, you can sign up for that. And there's another one next month as well. So that is the 7-day course, if you will. Although for me, it was more than 7 days, still here, 7 years course. But yes, so that was going on too. And if you're not, you can sign up for with your email and you can be on our list and learn about all the classes, different workshops that we have. But with that, please come to the back and I'd love to give you Toli and your blessing. Om Shanti.